screen now. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Maika, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Maia. Nice to meet you.
Alex.
I've seen your other projects, so I'm kind of a little bit aware of what your careers are going.
Oh, cool.
Starting off, what did you guys think, or what made you interested in this film? Like, what about the script drew your attention so that made you want to be part of it?
Yeah, I think it's like an amazing coming-of-age story. I think that the way that Elijah writes and the way that he kind of describes his characters, and you see some of that in the movie too, because it's like over voiceover and stuff, and the way that he describes the settings and places like that is really incredible, and it's just like stood out as a script to me. But then, yeah, apart from that, just the idea of friendship for me, this character that I've like never been able to play, which is just like this kind of badass James Dean kind of dude. He's got like a
Cool car.
cool
Oh,
car,
he's got a
you know,
cool car with cool clothes.
and a dark past. Yeah, it was like proper fun to get into, but the script as a whole and the stories out and all the characters were amazing.
Yeah, I think similar. Yeah, I read the script, and you can really see his style through the script. And then I sat down and met with him and talked with him, and could just tell that he was special, and he was really talented. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how
I
did you
agree.
guys feel? Because he mentioned that he based basically the storyline on what he witnessed when he was younger, like similar events. Obviously, we don't know what ended up happening to the people that he was observing. But how was that for you guys, kind of portraying something that happened in real
I
life?
think it was more for you and Timo. I think because you were playing those characters more.
There wasn't any pressure to kind of reenact a story or anything, and I think mainly because it's through the eyes of this young kid, you know, it's through the whole story is through the eyes of this 13-year-old boy who's telling the stories of the legends that he's heard. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with that was some creative license to not necessarily have to be completely true to his experience. But it was really cool to talk to him about his actual experience. But yeah, it's kind of its own thing, completely separate.
And the fact that you mentioned legendary characters, because your characters, Maika's and Alex, they're seen kind of like they have this legendary aura. They're like, it's like the bad boy and his sister. They've lived locally. How was it for you guys to portray those characters?
Oh, it was so much fun. I had such a fun time. She's way cooler than me. It was also really
different kind of cool.
Well, I don't know. She's like smooth, kind of, and I'm not. Anyways, also what was really fun was the time period and the wardrobe. And playing around with that, I really enjoyed. But yeah, it was a blast. Blast to film.
Yeah, I feel like with the creative license on that, you were free to kind of be as physical with it as you wanted to be, like to just get into it. Because you didn't really, I didn't have to emulate someone's just had a conversation with, there was a little bit of creative license to do with it what you will.
And you mentioned portraying a character as kind of James Dean, and you actually mentioned, you kind of have similar trajectory like James Dean, you have that cool aura about yourself.
There you go.
Do you think that's kind of like
compliment.
a big shoes to fill, something to strive to, kind of like meet that goal?
Oh wow, that's a really cool compliment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this one to my mum.
Yeah.
Yes, it was because there was within the character description. It was like, he's kind of got this James Dean cool and this Marlon Brando masculinity, and I was like, how am I? How? And but whatever I did with it, I guess that Elijah kind of liked, but it was definitely a challenge, and I think that I'm never going to do a James Dean, but I'm really glad that you're saying that.
Yeah.
I feel that my trajectory is like James Dean's.
Hopefully it's longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I
except for
think
that
he was 27,
ending.
right?
Yeah,
I've just made it out of the 27 club, so
Yeah, so you're clear.
I'm clear, over that hump.
And then, as far as your character, because I know it's the legendary, mystique aura, But in your case, it's kind of the opposite. You're, the policeman's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually see in films, the good girl falls for the bad boy, kind of despite the parents.
Mm-hmm.
But in your case, it wasn't exactly that. You
No.
honestly fell for him for who he was, not because, he's a bad boy, but
Yeah.
the personalities he portrayed. How was that for you?
It was good. Yeah, she sees, the beauty in Hunter, and she sees beyond that kind of like James Dean exterior. And I think for Hunter, Amy, he's drawn to Amy because she's so kind of innocent and sweet and sees beyond that. And so it's kind of, I wouldn't say like a beacon of hope, but it's, definitely a catalyst for him to want to turn his life around.
How was it filming in Atlanta? Because obviously you guys didn't film in Cape Cod, but how was it filming in Atlanta, kind of recreating that town?
It was great.
Yeah.
I love Atlanta.
I love
It was
Atlanta.
so
Yeah,
fun.
Atlanta's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like cool, like bluesy bars there, and like there's just sawdust on the floor, and like old musicians playing, and then there's also crazy clubs that are like, it was like a lot of fun around the shooting too. What was amazing was like when we found out it was supposed to be in Cape Cod, to try and make Atlanta look like Cape Cod seemed like a serious feat. But I think
No, it does.
It looks like Cape Cod.
Yeah.
And the film is pretty serious, moody. Most of it happens at night. What did you guys do to kind of shake off that seriousness and like after hours off the set? Anything fun you guys would do?
What do we do?
Just hung out, did weird stuff, I don't know.
Get takeout,
Yeah, get food, go dancing,
play music in the house.
have food.
There's a lot of eating.
There's a lot of eating involved.
Yeah, we're comfort eaters.
I tried, like, a little
stress eating.
We just stress ate to get
The whole
to get
time.
openings. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Keeping it light though too, like having
Yeah.
laughs and jokes with each other.
Definitely.
Your characters, their life trajectories that they had kind of changed once, Timothy's character came in. Do you think if he hadn't met them, their lives would have ended up differently than what they did at the end of the movie?
100%
Yeah.
for Hunter, yeah.
Definitely for me.
For the positive, for
Well, I think for Hunter, he kind of knew that this was where he was gonna. He knew that where he ends up was going to be where he ends up. But I think he just gets to take this like little meander, and I think Daniel really influences his life on that. I think his life would probably ended the same, but he would have had less fun.
Definitely. Definitely.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
your time. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice
thanks
to
so
meet you.
much.
To see like the rest of your projects that you have.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.